Greetings, this is Charles Darwin. And I'm going to begin in a way that you perhaps are not expecting. I'm going to quote from the Bible, from the Sermon on the Mount in the book of Matthew, where Jesus says, "Consider the lilies of the field. Even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of these." That's such a beautiful passage. Even in rural southern Oklahoma in the Bible Belt, my students have spent a lot of time in church hearing quotations from the Bible, and their preachers quote all those parts of the Bible that advance conservative political agendas, but they have not heard this beautiful piece of poetry from the Sermon on the Mount. "Consider the lilies of the field, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of these." Now, what was this referring to? Well, this was referring to the wildflowers of the Judean hillsides. Warm, wet winters and the dry, hot summers, all of the flowers would bloom during a brief period in the springtime. This happens in places with similar climates, such as California today. Many of these flowers, in fact, were in the lily family, just like this daffodil. Now, what does this passage refer to? Jesus says, consider the lilies. That is, you have to look closely at them. Really look at them, down inside them. Look at the details of their parts. Look at how their petals and their sepals shine. Isn't that beautiful? Now, he did not say, pick the lily and then look at it from a standing position, because as soon as you pick a flower, you have vanquished it. You have made it your victim, that you have to get down on your hands and knees to take a close look at the lilies of the field. Some people depict Jesus as being a tough guy, but no. He was the kind of guy who would get down on his knees and look at a flower. That's the kind of guy he was. He did not say to mow the lilies of the field, to spray herbicide on the lilies of the field, to cover the lilies of the field with cement or asphalt. He didn't say to do any of those things, but he said to consider the lilies of the field. And when you do, you will see, as he said, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed as one of these. There could be 100,000 wildflowers on the hillsides, and look at just one of them, and that's more beautiful than anything that human beings have made. One thing he also did not say is, do not sit around and argue about whether lilies evolved or were created. That wasn't the point to him. His point was, they are so beautiful. I believe that if we developed the habit of looking closely at the lilies of the field and other similar natural phenomena, that we would be able to appreciate and take care of the world a lot better, whether you believe that it was created or that it evolved. Also, part of considering the lilies of the field is to consider the DNA. Now, Jesus didn't know about DNA, but if we consider the DNA, we do, in fact, find evidence for the evolution of the lilies of the field. But that is secondary in importance to understanding how beautiful and important they are in the world. This is Charles Darwin. Tally ho, and this time really, amen.